Every day is actually a great day to be a Mustang, but today's an especially great day to be a Mustang. I welcome you to our first annual Hall of Excellence induction. This afternoon's ceremony is a special day in Southwestern history, and we're here as part of it because we're starting a brand new Mustang tradition that's being born right before our very, very eyes. Of course, my name is John Quashnock, and I have the pleasure of being your Master of Ceremonies this afternoon. The Southwestern Hall of Excellence is a special initiative of the Southwestern Educational Foundation. It's designed to recognize Southwestern graduates who have excelled in their actions, contributions, and achievements, and have brought pride and honor to Southwestern by serving as role models of our tradition of excellence. Inductees must have graduated from Southwestern and must have achieved significant success and exemplified strong moral character. The induction process is a very, very painstaking process in its design. It starts with an open nomination, which is highlighted through the internet and through our local media. And then all of the applications or nominees go to a nominating committee, which is made up of our 8th grade student council president, our high school student council president, our high school principal, a current faculty member, a band booster, an athletic booster, 2 retired faculty members, and 1 school board member. That nominating committee, after going through all the nominations, then passes on those qualified nominees to a selection committee. The selection committee is made up of our superintendent, a current administrator, a school board member, a member of our foundation, a high school teacher, a middle school teacher, an elementary teacher, an active community member, and a member of our Southwestern Alumni Association. That selection committee then forwards the list of inductees to our planning committee, which is responsible for making this afternoon's program successful. And that would include our superintendent, our administrative assistant to the superintendent, members of our Southwestern Foundation board, who you have interacted with throughout the day as welcomers and doing everything up here and making it possible, a member of our nominating and selection committee, and an alumni association member. At this time, I would like all those volunteers who played a part in the process of selection that brought us to this afternoon to please stand to be thanked for the many hours that make this afternoon possible. So if you could, participants in the process. Thank you very much. Our first class of inductees consists of 5 outstanding Mustangs who were selected from a total of 17 nominees. They range from graduates from 1962 to 1989. They represent Southwestern's very best. Our first inductee is from the class of 1989, Frank LaCrone. He is the founder and president of Aquafenix Scientific Water Testing. And to introduce Frank, we have Henry Wojcicki.
Everyone hear me? Yes. Hello, everyone, and thank you all for coming to celebrate the achievements of these fine individuals. I've been living in the Hanover area since 1994, and I've worked in various manufacturing companies throughout the last 30 years. Over these years, I've had the privilege to work with many individuals who have influenced the way I've managed companies. I thought I've seen it all until I've met Frank. When someone says the name Frank LaCrone, the first word that pops into my head is successful. He's been working in the water test kit industry for 20 years, and in July of 2003, he decided to start his own company and establish Aquafenix Scientific in a small warehouse with only 4 employees. Without this man's dedication to success, the company would have never reached the many milestones that it has achieved to this date. Aquafenix now has 90 full-time employees, which because of Frank, all have the work hard, play hard mentality. He has overseen multiple milestones, including expanding the warehouse not only once but twice, going green with solar power energy, acquiring multiple businesses, and learning from failures and celebrating many successes. Throughout the years, Frank's companies have been the recipient of many awards, from the AWT Supplier of the Year in 2010 to two-time recipient of Fisher Scientific's Supplier of the Year. Aquaphoenix has also been awarded the Central Pennsylvania Journal's Top 50 Companies, Fastest Growing Companies in 2010, 2012, and 2013. Well done. Frank is a leader. He's tenacious and always strives for success in everything he does. He's truly a man of all trades. Now, many of you know Frank is a successful businessman, but you may be unaware of many of the achievements he made while wrestling on the mat. Weighing at 138 pounds, Mr. Frank LaCrone. That was a long time ago.
Way too many pounds to go, my friend.
You had to start working out a little bit, right?
Calling me fat?
Yeah? No, I'm not saying that. During his junior year at Southwest High School, Frank placed in the Division III wrestling tournament. During this season, he had a winning record of 26 wins and only 6 losses. He also was a PIAA state qualifier in his junior year. He is an extremely generous patron of the community and contributes regularly to various social and organizations. He may be half crazy, but we sure do love him. It's been a pleasure to work with him the last 4 years, and I look forward to many more. Your family, your friends, and Aquaphoenix employees are proud of your accomplishments. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and it's such a pleasure to be here for your induction to the Southwestern Hall of Excellence.
So a few words. He only said I'm half crazy or weird. Which was it? Crazy, I think, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I actually talk about Hanover, Pennsylvania. I've been very fortunate. I've traveled to many, many different places. I was in China just 3-4 weeks ago. Been to India. Been all over Europe and such. And when people talk about Hanover, Pennsylvania, and where I'm from, I talk about a small town, we talk about snack foods, and almost always we talk about a small town high school and how proud you are to be a part of that and know darn near everyone who's there. And you always assume in a small town that the weirdo factor is a little bit lower ratio, right? Because when you go to some of the bigger cities, you sometimes run into crazy people, so only being half crazy from a small town I think is a good thing. Very, very happy to be inducted into this first year. I'm very, very proud of that. I was bragging to my oldest sister, Marcia, who some of you know, and I think was in Scott Sager's grade, actually. And I was bragging to her and saying, hey, I beat you in something. And then she said, I was quoted in the Wall Street Journal last month, Frank. And then she called me some words that Barb asked me not to say. So, but I'm very, very proud to be here, very proud to be part of Southwestern. We have hired people at Aquaphoenix, and sometimes they'll come in, we'll talk to them a little bit. In this case, the gentleman's name is Mitch Medina. And we found out he went to Southwestern, he wrestled. I said, just hire him, get him hired, we'll see if he's any good. I didn't even talk to the guy. And he actually called me this morning to congratulate me, so he's one of our key players. We have Jeff Guyman's little brother, Jared, who's working and running our whole customer service. He was one of the 4 people that started the company with us. And every year at our Christmas party, we talk about how many people have bought new houses or had children. And I'm really, really proud of that. I'm getting chills. Just growing a company has me very, very passionate. Continuous improvement has me very, very passionate. And when you think about half crazy and never being satisfied, I think about Don Seidenstricker and think about some of the drive that man had. And I just saw him the other day at a field hockey game and just the passion that he brings to the table. And again, a fellow Mustang and someone who's just really has influenced a lot of people. I also think about a lot of the good times that I had hanging out with some of my best friends at Southwestern. Brad Rinker, who Ann and Jim are here, and driving to Hilton Head many times and having Ann put down the visor to look at the mirror to see what Brad and I were doing from back, yelling at us, gently persuading us not to keep doing what we're doing, whatever that was. And just some of the fantastic times. So again, I'm very proud to raise children in this community, very proud to have a company in this community, and I extend an open invitation that if anyone would ever want to come and see our facility, see what we're doing, if anyone has somebody who is a really good person that is struggling right now or needs any help with employment, we are always looking for real good people. We have a culture that when you come on board, you will be challenged by others. You can't just stand there. We will step on your toes. We will push you. Sometimes you will not like it. But getting out of your comfort zone, by definition, means you are uncomfortable. So if you are trying to improve, get uncomfortable and do so. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
So Frank, that sounds a little bit like great leadership where you have to afflict the comfortable and then comfort the afflicted. Okay, the secret, yes. Very good. Now you see why we're so proud of being part of Southwestern. Speaking of pride of Southwestern, our next inductee is from the class of 1982. His name is Scott Sager. Affectionately known as Moon, Scott was voted as our team captain in football for our 1981 team and was an inspiration both on and off the field, no matter where we were or who we were competing against. I personally remember him before we played Littlestown. He worked at W.L. Sterner, walking down the hallway with bolts in his pockets, shaking them as he'd go past the players. Beat the bolts, beat the bolts. And that is the reason why he was selected as the most spirited by his class. Hands down. Nobody was even close. He is currently the pastor of St. David's United Church of Christ on Hobart Road. And introducing Scott is another proud Mustang, Andrea Holton.
Hello. When Barb contacted me on Thursday and said, would you say a few words, I was like, I really don't know what to say. So what I'm going to do is just read my nomination for Scott, because I think it says what our congregation feels about Scott and everybody that knows him. Scott is an integral part of our community. He is a husband, father, grandfather, pastor, firefighter, coach, and friend. Scott takes each of his jobs very seriously and gives 110% to all situations that he encounters. Whenever there is a serious accident or fire in our town, you can almost count on Scott being there to be the firefighter that he is, but he is also there to support the victims and their families. He always brings the soothing words that you need to hear at a moment of tragedy. Scott is constantly traveling many miles across the state or state lines to visit people who are in need of a visit. He visits members of the congregation and also people he may not know personally, but are friends or family members of someone who asked him to check in on them. Even through the busy lifestyle that he lives, Scott has found time and values the time that he is able to influence the youth of our community. He has taken time during each sports season to coach several different sports teams over the past 20 years. Scott uses this opportunity to positively impact the youth in the community to try to make the place that we live better. In my opinion, Scott is the epitome of what Southwestern School District stands for, excellence. Please also know that when Scott found out about this, he came to me and said thank you, but he also, in his very humble way, said that there are others that are much more deserving of this. But I told him I couldn't think of anybody else, and clearly the committee felt the same way as me. So please welcome me in joining Scott up here.
As I thought about what I was going to say in receiving this award, first of all, thank you again to Andrea for the nomination, to all those who voted and made this possible. People have poured into my life, my family here, my mother, my aunt and uncle. They poured into me and made me who I am. My mother never drove, so my aunt and uncle, they were the wheels. Whatever I did when I was younger, they got me there. But my mother got me into community service, being involved in the fire service. That has been something that I've done as soon as I could join, I did join. And I have been doing that, I don't know, 30-some years now, I guess, because you had to be 16 when you joined. So, people at my church poured themselves into my life, helped to shape me. This man gave me the encouragement of being a leader, helped me, shaped me. And my giving back in the things that I do, I'm hopeful that I can in some way just pour a bit of what's been poured into me into someone else, so that they too can reach their potential, reach where they might not see possible right now. But I'm hopeful that in my coaching, and that really, it truly is, in the congregation that I serve, I'm blessed to be there, to be back in this town is a blessing. The congregation has always supported my coaching, and they are, for me, I'll be burnt out in my job if they wouldn't let me coach, because that's just pretty demanding. But the coaching, I forget all about whatever church stuff's going on and focus on the game plan. Or Frank, today we had a wrestling scrimmage at Victorville. So, going off Mr. Bushinsky's comments to you, we go to the locker room, and there's a mirror, and the guys are changing, and I looked in the mirror and I said, "Hey guys, look, that mirror makes you look fatter than you really are." And they said, "No, it doesn't." I thought it did, but coaching has just been, I love it. And I've used, those of you who are at football games, I'm pretty vocal. Coach Bellucci doesn't like that. We had a meeting this past week. He doesn't really like that. So I'll try to tone it down. But I'm passionate about getting the best out of those players on the football field, on the wrestling mat, on the track. Those are the three sports that I coach. I want them to do their best. I want them to give their best to reach their full potential, so that one day perhaps they will be standing here receiving such an award because of all they have worked to accomplish. So thank you very much for this award, and I too am very honored. I do think there are many more deserving people, but thank you very much for honoring me in this manner.
Our next inductee graduated in 1975. Currently, he serves as the head trainer for the Pittsburgh Steelers and is right in the middle of the season, so he is unable to be with us this afternoon. He has been the recipient of many prestigious awards during his 24 years as part of the NFL. Introducing John will be Karen Coombs.
It is my sincere pleasure to accept this award on behalf of John Norwood. I had the opportunity to speak with John yesterday about this award, his experiences at Southwestern, Penn State University, Vanderbilt University, and as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Only John can tell his story best, but I'll try to give you a sense of John's journey from a learner and athlete at Southwestern High School to the position of head trainer for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and also as a leader in the field of athletic training. The first message that I want to share is how sorry that John is that he cannot be here today. He is quite humbled and honored to be recognized by his alma mater. He is also very proud of his hometown and to have graduated from Southwestern High School. In John's words, "My time in Hanover and at Southwestern was the beginning of many opportunities with amazing people. people that helped to support me, people that challenged me, and people that guided me, even when I wasn't sure what I wanted to do or where I was headed. You see, John didn't always know that he wanted to be an athletic trainer. In fact, he didn't even know that was a possibility until later in college. As a high school student, John showed up, he was involved, and he wanted to be successful. He just wasn't sure what he wanted to do beyond high school, or how that would happen. According to John, and he did mention this many times during our conversation yesterday, it was the connections to people and the relationships that he had with them that made all of the difference. John talked with me about a 7th grade homeroom teacher and her recommendation that he transfer to a more rigorous academic schedule, one that would better prepare him for his future. He remembers being surprised by that recommendation, but trusted and followed that advice. However, he admits that soon after making the switch, he didn't really appreciate it at the time. The courses were definitely more challenging and took more of his time to achieve at the same level, but he didn't. As fate would have it, John encountered that same 7th grade teacher again as a junior in high school. This time, that teacher was his counselor. John described how his mother visited the high school unbeknownst to him and plotted with this counselor to get him into college. Who was that 7th grade teacher and high school counselor? The person that challenged and guided him to keep learning? John identified that person as Barbara. John also talked about some other very important Southwestern people and connections that influenced him in his life. Carol Granger, basketball coach. Walt Porowski, teacher and coach. Leo Lawler, teacher and coach. John described how these men connected with him through athletics, took a personal interest in him, and saw potential in him that at times he may not have seen in himself. John really enjoyed being involved in athletics and believes that these men helped to build self-confidence in him. After graduating in 1975, John went on to Penn State, York. While there, a professor introduced John to a new and growing career opportunity related to health and fitness. It was at Penn State, York that John's interest in healthcare and athletics first began to focus on athletic training. John eventually transferred to University Park and completed his bachelor's degree. Again, through the guidance and support of a professor and a trusted mentor, John made a career decision to stay on at Penn State to complete his master's degree, while also working as a health and physical education teacher at the Bellefonte High School near State College. In addition to completing the academic program for his master's degree, John taught and worked alongside Penn State faculty and staff. These opportunities eventually turned into full-time employment with the university. And John became a trainer for the basketball team and a member of the teaching staff. In 1985, another opportunity presented itself, and John moved to Tennessee to assume the role of head trainer for Vanderbilt University. He remained at that position until being recruited by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1991, a position he still holds today. Yes, by all accounts, John has worked hard, achieved, and built an incredibly successful career. And yet he will tell you over and over that his success is a shared success, a success acquired through the collective support, guidance, and encouragement of his family, teachers, coaches, and other individuals along the way. I will close by saying that John definitely wants you to know that he feels so fortunate to have been a student at Southwestern and later at Penn State. In addition, he wants to recognize the Rooney family and the Pittsburgh Steelers Football Club. He has met and worked with so many talented and caring people. Their guidance has enabled him to enjoy his life's work and experience things that not all athletic trainers have the opportunity to do. He hopes he has represented Southwestern with honor and that the people he has mentioned are proud of him as he is of them. On behalf of John Norwood, thank you.
inductee is Patricia Trump from the class of 1962. She is a retired Navy Corps nurse who served in both Vietnam and Desert Storm. Her countless contributions to society really are the mark of a truly remarkable woman. Accepting on behalf of Pat this afternoon is another Patricia, Patricia Troutman.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pat Trump is truly and deeply disappointed that she could not be here today to receive this amazing award. She's in South Carolina at this time doing what she loves best, helping a friend through her surgery and recovery. Being lifelong friends for over 60 years, I am honored to accept this award on her behalf. Pat wanted me to express her feelings to all of you upon receiving this prestigious award, so I would like to read the following from her. When Superintendent Barb Rupp called to tell me that I had been selected as one of the recipients, I was speechless, felt overwhelmed, and totally surprised. I've been so mightily blessed with a loving, supportive family, amazing friends, and unending opportunities in my life. This award is another of my life blessings. Being born and raised in Hanover, my roots are firmly planted. I spent the first 9 years in 4 schools, so when Southwestern High School opened, with the blend of 3 townships, my friends and I were thrilled. Finally, it felt like home. There were so many firsts, like choosing the school colors, a mascot, writing an alma mater, first football game, concerts, and so much more, which is the foundation of our school. Everyone, administration, teachers, students alike, were incredibly proud and determined to make Southwestern the best school district around, planting the seeds of excellence for our future graduating classes. Almost everything that I have done or am presently doing is my way of giving back to my country and community in gratitude for all that I have been given. Thank you for honoring me with this award. I am humbled by this recognition and extremely proud to have been in the 2nd graduating class of Southwestern. I would just like to say one thing Pat did not mention was her own battle with stage 3 breast cancer. She is now a cancer survivor of 18 years. This is one of the reasons for her devoted drive against cancer and helping so many friends and family who have had to fight the disease. I feel so blessed to have her as a special friend. In closing, Pat is not only one of the first to receive this award, but represents the only female in the group, and our class of 62. We are all so proud of her. Thank you.
Our final inductee of this first inaugural class of the Hall of Excellence is a man who needs no introduction, very special to each and every one of us associated with Southwestern, and a graduate of the class of 1969. Of course, I'm talking about Phil Hennepin. Accepting on behalf of Phil this afternoon is me. Sorry, Phil. Phil, as we all know, when he was in high school, was our drum major. He was our class president. He was a member of the orchestra and student council. A true leader in every respect. He passed away on February 15, 1998, a day which is still remembered each year at Southwestern as our official black and white day where we dress up in black and white and tell Phil's stories, of which there are many, some of which we will not repeat today. Phil, after graduating from Millersville University, became a teacher, a school board member, was an elementary principal for us, and also our assistant superintendent. Without question, he was admired and loved by each and every one of us who knew him. We used to refer to him as the true Mustang. He even threatened at one point in time to require that each of us would get a tattoo on our right calf of a Mustang to show that we truly were committed to the Mustang as part of our life. Phil was also committed to what we refer to as the Mustang mentality. By that, what Phil meant was we need to do the right thing for the right reason in the right way. And that was the guideline that he used for every decision that he made. And he passed on that baton of the Mustang mentality to each and every one of us. His impact on campus surrounds us everywhere we look. If we look to the Alumni Plaza, the sign, the benches, a donation of Phil Hemping. As we look at the sign as you enter the Mustang Corral, the wooden sign that hangs down with an inscription on it that we all pass through and our graduates pass under every year during graduation, that also was donated by Phil. There is the Make a Difference Scholarship, which was the initial scholarship of our Dollars for Scholars chapter, named specifically for Phil and the qualities that he stood for. I would just like to leave you with the inscription on that wooden sign that's part of the, as you enter the track at the stadium, because it epitomized what Phil felt about the challenges of life. And it was his challenge to each and every one of us and each and every student that walks under that. And the inscription simply says, the challenge is inevitable. Defeat is optional. It's up to us to decide. An inspiration in every way, part of the inaugural inductee class, Phil Hemping. In closing, it is said that there are two types of people. There are dreamers and there are doers. I submit that there are actually three types of people, and we have seen 5 examples of those of this third type today. They are dreamers that do. Go Mustangs. At this time, Dr. Rupp would like to make a few remarks.
Good afternoon. I certainly have to thank John for doing an outstanding job. There's no one that we could have picked that would have been more well-suited to get us on our journey for our first Hall of Excellence celebration. Thank you, John. I also wanted to take this opportunity to make a pitch for the foundation. I would like, first of all, to let you know about 9 years ago, this foundation was just sort of a dream. A couple of people sat around the table in the boardroom at Southwestern and said, you know, we're a pretty good school district. We're a very good school district. We should have a foundation. Good school districts have foundations. Let's do it. So any of you that know me think, you know, we'll just do it in a year. Why can't we just do it tomorrow? Can we get it done? Well, it took a little bit longer than I thought. Dr. Shabley was a member of that first group who sat in the boardroom and said, let's have a foundation. It took several years till we got to the point where we do have the foundation. There were a lot of people I need to thank along the way. First of all, I would sort of like the members of the Southwestern Education Foundation Board to please stand and be recognized. And we have several of our Southwestern School District board members here as well. So the board of directors of the district, would you please stand? Thank you. And we're also very fortunate today to have in our audience Dr. Rinker, who was the president of the very first board of the Southwestern Education Foundation. Dr. Rinker? Yes, thank you. And just a quick pitch, you did see some of the information about the foundation on the table. I guess the most outstanding thing I need to share with you about the foundation is the fact that the money that is generated from the endowment of the foundation goes back to our teachers. We are so very, very fortunate in our school district to have the most outstanding group of professionals. Many of you heard about some in the past, and I think sometimes in the past you think, wow, will we continue to have really great educators? We have continued to have wonderful educators who are dedicated to our students, and we're very, very fortunate. Every year someone leaves and you think, oh wow, we're going to be able to replace that person? And we're able to get them into the family and get them into the fold and help them learn about the culture of Southwestern. So the money that we do generate goes back to our professionals, our teachers in our district, who then, they submit grants, they submit a proposal for a grant, and then they have to share that proposal with the board, and then they get money or don't get money. And if they get money, they carry out their plan and carry out their proposal. And then at the end of the school year, they must come back with evidence to show what they have done. And the board has continued to be amazed at the action plans our educators have and come back with what they've been able to accomplish for the students in their classroom. It is really, generally, truly outstanding. So a lot of people don't know about the foundation yet. Hopefully now you do know about it. And you can share that information when you see it in our newsletters, because we generally have something in about our newsletters. I also need to personally thank everyone who's here today, particularly our students who are here, to learn a little bit more about the culture of Southwestern. It is truly a culture of excellence, and all of you sitting in those seats, sitting in the seats where you are, have contributed to that culture and continue to contribute to that culture. We are a district of continuous improvement. If we're not improving, we're falling behind. And change is imminent, change is really critical for us to meet the needs of the individuals who walk the halls of our elementary schools, our middle school, and our high school. So they leave prepared to go out into the world and fly with the information and the education that we have provided to them. It's a distinct privilege to be able to work in the Southwestern School District. So I thank all of you for being here today and adding to the culture that we have in Southwestern. And you know, once a Mustang, always a Mustang. Thank you very, very much.